What's up, you guys? Rener Gracie here at the Gracie Academy. Today we're going to talk about some guillotine details that are going to change your life forever. But before we do, we have to answer one very common question that is coming at me as of lately. What's the difference between regular Jiu-Jitsu seminars and these mastery seminars that we've been hyping in recent times? Huge difference, my friends. I've been to hundreds of regular Jiu-Jitsu seminars by all kinds of amazing instructors over the years. And more often than not, the students who come to the seminars leave more confused than when they showed up. With the mastery seminars, they leave enlightened. What's the difference? Regular seminars are based on questions and made-up techniques on the spot. Mastery seminars are based on a principle. Very simple. For example, let's say you were inside a house and you were looking out a window to the backyard and there was a tree and you were asked to draw that tree, artistically, design, paint the tree. If you have one window, you have one perspective on that tree. If you have 8 windows to look at the same tree from, you have a much better, much more complete understanding of the exact same tree. That's what we try to accomplish in these mastery seminars. We choose a topic and we want you to leave with an understanding of the principle that drives that technique or that concept. 100% understanding of that principle, more so than just a buffet of fun guard passes, sweeps, chokes, arm bars, random techniques, just to say you were there, okay? Now, it's so crazy how much more you can accomplish when you stick to one topic and you analyze it from multiple angles. In a 2-hour seminar, 8 distinct variations, slices, techniques can be used to help illustrate and understand a single principle. Okay, that's what I've calculated over my years. In fact, we often go so far as to say that in one mastery seminar, one 2-hour mastery seminar on guillotines, on triple threat, on leg locks, on you name it, you can actually get 1 month of technical progress, 1 month of growth for that 2-hour seminar. People say, well, that's crazy, 2 hours is equal 1 month. Of course, you can't substitute the daily grind and sweating and getting choked out. What I'm talking about is a student's profound understanding of a topic can go so much deeper. If you stick to one topic with the same group of students, you can dig such a deeper hole of understanding in the direction of a principle than if you do an hour here, next day, new group of people, hour, next day, new group. So basically, you're digging a bunch of shallow holes over a month in a group class, normal academy learning environment, where in a seminar, we're going together and we're going all the way, is the mindset. Okay, so that's how that is possible. You can truly understand, and this is just based on the feedback that we've gotten from people who've attended these mastery seminars all over the world. Now, when you stack multiple mastery seminars on top of one another, what do you have? A super seminar. And my theory is simple. If I'm going to travel halfway around the world to go to another country to do a seminar, I'm not going to show up and say, Rener Gracie, 2-hour seminar, come ask your questions, I'll just answer them and we'll all go home. No, I'm going to go across the country, around the world, do a seminar. I'm going to stack guillotines on top of street defense, on top of cross chokes, on top of leg locks. So each thing, and these are all based on what I have found and what I know to be the biggest kind of gaping holes in the jiu-jitsu of the practitioners around the world. So just having trained with so many people, I'm like, man, they don't understand this concept, they don't understand that concept, they don't understand this principle. So let me teach a whole seminar on that. So we've chosen these mastery seminars based on the biggest holes that we see in people's general jiu-jitsu strategies and games. And we teach them all over the world. For example, I'm going to Sydney on November 8th. From Sydney, I go straight to Melbourne to coach Ronda at the UFC 193 against Holly Holm. And in Melbourne on the 14th, the day before the UFC, we do another super seminar. 4 seminars in each location, stacked. And each 4 will be completely different at each location. So there are people who are going to Sydney and then to Melbourne because they want to make 8 months of technical, explosive progress in a couple weekends. Now, they might understand the moves deeply and beautifully after these super seminars, but they still got to drill it, they still got to get choked, they still got to put in the time, but at least they know which direction to dig in after an amazing and fully in-depth super seminar weekend. All right, that being said, I want to talk about some guillotines. Give you a sample of the guillotine mastery concept that will help you understand what I'm talking about. So for that, none other than good friend and one of the most amazing instructors and brightest smiles here at the Gracie Academy, Sam Fernandez, comes here, keeps it real every single day, and everyone who's trained with him or learned from him has nothing but positive things to say. Thanks for being here, bro.
Of course, I'd love to donate my neck to the cause, man.
That's what's up. So you guys, here's the deal. On the guillotine front, I was talking to Sam before this video, and guillotines are like sushi, okay? You either love it and eat it all the time, or you don't eat it at all. Right? You don't find a lot of lingering sushi fans who are like, yeah, they're kind of like, oh, I like sushi, but I'll just go when no. Call me when you guys are going and I might go. No, you're either all in team sushi or you're team no sushi. I don't do raw fish thing. Guillotines are the same. You're either all in catching everyone in guillotines or you're catching no one. And it's amazing how glorious it is to be on team guillotine and how painful it is to be on team no guillotine.
No guillotine.
team victims
Left
of
out,
guillotine.
yeah.
They're the victims to the people who are on the team. You guys, it's unbelievable. And what's crazy is that some minor misunderstandings or some minor adjustments in your understanding of what a guillotine is changes everything about which team you're on. And we want to share some of those concepts with you guys today. We only have time to explore one window of observation into the principle of the guillotine tree. But hopefully I may see you in the future at a super seminar, a mastery seminar for guillotines, and you can explore the remaining 7 windows with me. So check it out. All guillotines follow the same 3 phases: collect, connect, and compress. Collect the head, connect the bodies, and compress all of that to be able to take effect and put your opponent to sleep. Now, each of these 3 phases is broken down into 3 distinct phases. The collection: head, chin strap, put on your watch. Check it out. So it doesn't matter where you set up your guillotine from. Okay, there are so many places. Guillotine's a dynamic moving top or bottom from pretty much any position if you know what you're doing. Okay? However, for the basic discussion's sake, we'll be on the bottom of maybe butterfly guard or open guard here, where someone's getting ready to pass and you're ready to go. Step number 1, collect the head. So whether you set it up with this, a little arm drag, whatever it is, when it's time to go, collect the head, which means grab, come up, and feed. Now, I didn't feed his head to my armpit. I fed my armpit to his head, because if he's super strong, stay back. I gotta go to him. Right when I do, I look at this, I'm cupping the chin. I call it the chin strap. You're actually cupping his actual chin right here. From the chin cup, we need to put on the wristwatch. This is critical. From the chin cup, you need to put on the wristwatch. I'm gonna pull with my 4 fingers on his jaw. I'm gonna rotate my wrist. Right now, I'm not facing my wristwatch. Right now, my palm is facing me. I need my wrist to turn facing me so I can see my watch, which puts the blade of my wrist here in his trachea. Not deep, right here, this part of the blade. So chin cup, boom, watch the wristwatch. And watch how my elbow's gonna hit his shoulder in the process. Boom, boom. I'm doing this, boom. I'm rotating and I'm slamming my wrist bone into his trachea. Once that happens, boom, I connect there. Okay, so that's the collection is done. I put on my watch. Now I come in, I grab my own hand, okay, right here near the hypothenar eminence, with your index finger supporting the wrist bone here to get maximum control and minimal injury to the wrist. So collect, chin strap, put on the watch. Connect to the hypothenar eminence. Now, time to connect. I've connected my hands. Now I gotta connect our hips and my leg to his back. So I push up into him, I bring my shin and my leg over the back. Okay? So I've connected shin to hip, leg to back. Critical. Okay, depending, because there's many times where they'll try to roll out of this, and these connection mechanisms will make sure that I can follow along. Now that I've connected, it's time for the final phase. Kick, curl, and crush. Okay, the compression phase is made up of 3 distinct steps. Kick, curl, and crush. The shin that is on his hip, this one right here, okay, it's so important that it's rotate this way, bro. It's so important that I use that shin on his hip to kick my hips away. This is a very overlooked step of the technique. If your hips stay under, then you're going to be squeezing straight in the neck, and it's not going to have the same neck crank effect or tracheal crushing effect. So it's critical that I create a void in between our bodies, and you create a void for his head to crush into by kicking off of this and literally disconnecting. Kick, and look how by kicking my hips away, my head curls in. All the while my leg stays up. Kick, curl, and crush. What does crush mean? Take your wrist right here, this situation, and literally pull this to your chest while simultaneously pushing Sam's head towards his sternum. So I want his nose to touch his chest and crank his neck over the crowbar that I have in his trachea right here. So from this, I'm kicking, I'm curling, and I'm crushing. Describe the type of squeeze relative to a normal choke, Sam.
Way more crush in this kind of choke. Normally, blood choke, very comfortable,
yeah,
very
way
calming,
slow.
no problem.
Yeah.
This is like, all right, get off my neck. You
What's
win.
crazy is at a super seminar when I'm teaching guillotines and I see the students practicing and I'm walking around and they're practicing this, the best indication that the application is correct is the double tap, which means this. Guys tap like, oh, it's a fast, using both hands if they're available to tap as fast as possible. Because it's not like that tap where you slow, squeeze, 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 you got me. No, it's a, hey, get off my neck. That's the effect you're looking for when you do the proper collect, connect, compress. One more time. So from here, open guard situation, kick the knee, look, sit up, collect the head, got him. Chin strap is already in. Chin strap is already in and we couldn't even talk about it, it's so fast. Now look, from here, put the wristwatch on, watch the turn. Boom. Turn the bones, grab the hand, step, lean forward. That's when this shin has space to connect, leg over the body. And then from here, if you stay with your hips under, even from all the way across the room, I'll say, hey bro, your hips are not out. Because if you squeeze from here, it's no good. There's no void. I'm not turning. I'm just pulling on Sam's neck and his spine is remaining straight here. What I want to do is bend this under, like crank his head under. In fact, this is so true, you guys, that if Sam starts to slip his head out a little bit, freeze. The crown of his head gets stuck in my armpit, and that actually amplifies the curlability of the choke. You feel that?
I felt it.
So it's almost like one of those situations where the more their head slips out, the more devastating the crank is when you kick your hips out, curl your body, and crush, curling and crushing in, driving with the armpit on the back of their skull, which makes perfect sense, right? The longer lever you have, the more leverage you generate in the process. What's crazy is that if you don't understand these basic concepts from this simple position, open guard, sit up and go, where it's one of the most common guillotine setup positions, but there are so many others. If you don't understand these basic concepts, you're not catching anyone in guillotines. And once you fail once or twice, you catch a guillotine, like, oh man, doesn't work. You kind of like dismiss yourself and say, I'm not a guillotine, I'm not team guillotine, hashtag team guillotine. I don't put that hashtag because you simply haven't caught people and you feel like I'm not gonna even try and waste my situation on that. I'm here to tell you guys, if you follow these same principles, collect, connect, and compress, and follow the 3 sub-steps in each category, and understand them and own these ideas, you guys, hashtags all day, team guillotine, no problem.
My question is, a lot of people watching this, they're thinking, okay, you're demonstrating some nice guillotines in the gi, but guillotine is usually a no-gi technique. So what do you have to say about that?
You guys, for the people who say guillotine is a no-gi technique, Sam and I love rolling with those people in the gi. Yes, it's a little harder to get your hands in and shoot your fingers into position when the gi's on, but trust me when I tell you, I catch gis, teens, in the gi as often as I catch it no gi. And partially because the giers, they're like, no, I'm safe. They're not gonna go for guillotines, he's gonna go for cross chokes, he's gonna go for bow and arrow chokes. I'm like, yeah, you keep thinking that. Boom, cup the head, cup the chin, put on the watch, slap the hand, shin, connect, hips, kick, curl, crush. Boom, they're tapping like a crowbar just got jammed into their throat and their head got cranked over like, Mark Kerr in Pride. Okay, so, you feel me?
I feel you.
We love sparring with those guys who think guillotines are no-gi techniques. Anyways, you guys, too much talking. You got the idea. But this is one window of a 7-window, 8-window viewing opportunity. Get the other 7 windows when I see you in Australia or any other super seminar in the not too distant future. Go to gracieacademy.com/seminars. All the details are there, you guys. I'll see you on the mat. Just one promise. Once you join Team Guillotine, don't forget who taught you.
Our grandfather's vision was to share the gift of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu with people all over the world. Thanks to global internet accessibility and the development of a revolutionary interactive online learning system, his dream came true, and his legacy will live on forever. Gracie University. Let us teach you everything he taught us.